Hello, I'm bringing you something very, very special and very, very important. The topic says moral crossroads. So it's going to be in series. For the next couple of days, we shall be discussing the topic moral crossroads. It's going to come with stories, practical stories that affect our youths in the society, things that have happened in the past and things that may still be happening. So these are stories that we'll be sharing. We'll be bringing you multiple stories, different kinds of stories, just to drive home this topic called moral crossroads. So I ask you, have you ever been in a situation where you needed to make a choice, where you needed to make a decision, and you found it so difficult to make a decision because the decision you decide to make is as difficult as the decision you decide not to make? Have you been in a situation where one would describe as being between the devil and the blue sea? So that is called moral crossroad, where you have to make a moral choice, where you have to make a decision to do good or to do bad. And the most difficult part of it is that time in this situation would never be on your side. It is called moral crossroads. A lot of youths, a lot of people have found themselves in similar situations where they would describe that, oh, they were actually in moral crossroads. In this situation, life seems to come to a standstill. Everything seems to stop. Depression seems to set in. Moral crossroad is not easy. So to proceed, I would like us to understand the difference between these three words: moral, immoral, and amoral. I repeat, moral, immoral, and amoral. These three words are important. We should understand them because the understanding of these three words and their differences would assist us in the next couple of days, the discussions we shall be having. So, moral. Moral stands for things that conform to what the society considers to be good. So, moral, to say that something is moral or somebody is moral, means this person lives a life that conforms to what is generally considered to be a good life, or this person makes decisions that are considered to be good decision. Good decisions. Decisions that conform with goodness. An example is the saints in the church. The saints are considered to be people who lived moral lives. So we know a lot of people who are good that we could say that person lived a moral life. That person lived a good life. So when someone is considered to be good, to be living a good life, we consider the person to be a moral person. We consider the person to be someone who has moral integrity. And moral integrity has to do with fear of God, prayerfulness, being kind, being good, having a good heart. These are moral integrity. Someone who is dedicated to spiritual exercises dedicated to uh, showing love to humanity, to mankind. Someone who is ready to make sacrifices for the good of the society, for the good of his fellow human beings, or for the good of our fellow human beings. So, that person is considered to be a moral being, a good person. Immoral. Immoral stands for acts that are considered to be on the negative, on the bad side. People who make decisions that the society considers to be bad. An example is prostitutes live immoral lives. Thieves, armed robbers are considered to be immoral because they make choices that are bad. What their actions portray them to be bad people in the society. And that is considered to be immoral life. Then amoral. Amoral sometimes is confused with immoral. But amoral stands for not being able to make a moral decision. It does not mean someone who is immoral or someone who is not moral. It means someone who is incapable of making a moral decision. A perfect example is infant. Infants are amoral because the little infant knows nothing. The little infant can do a lot of things without knowing the consequences of what he or she is doing. Another example is animals. Animals are amoral. Morality is not attached to their actions. So animals behave in certain ways that even we human beings would not behave. So animals have no morality attached to their actions. So in summary, the ability to make a choice, to make a decision between what is good and bad distinguishes someone from moral person or immoral person. That defines who you are in terms of moral or immoral. So, when we talk of moral crossroad, we are talking about a situation where you find yourself in the middle of a decision that you must make. It's not like you have a choice not to make the decision. You must make a decision. And the decision you make should be either a moral decision or immoral decision. So when you find yourself in this situation where you must make a choice, you are at a moral crossroad. So I'll give you example and then I'll ask you questions. I would like you at the end of the story to please drop your comments. Tell me what you think about the story. So just an example of someone who found herself at a moral crossroad. If you have not started following me, please do well to follow me. Just go to my page, Father Tony Ezeku, on Facebook. I am also on TikTok. I am on YouTube. Just go there, click, follow me. And do well, please, to share my videos and comment, like the videos. If you feel something has touched you, you felt impressed by something from my video, please do well to comment on it. It gives me encouragement to go on and to improve. If there's something you feel does not go well with my video, please do well also to inform me, let me know so that I will improve and do well. So thank you so much to all those who have really been following me, those who have been commenting on my videos. I really appreciate you and I love you. Thank you so much. It's coming from my heart. I love you. and I appreciate it. Thank you so much. So, back to our topic, moral crossroads. So, we are going to share the story of two persons, Chike and Rita. Chike and Rita would be considered as teenagers. They grew up together, living in two separate villages. Chike is an orphan. He lost both parents when he was still in his primary school. Chike and Rita are now 20 years old. They decided to maintain their friendship, childhood friendship, and made promises that they would live together as husband and wife. So they decided that nothing would separate them. They have fallen in love so deeply with each other. Now, Chike lives alone in a mud house built by his father. As the only child, he had to fend for himself. So he could not complete his secondary education. Chike was going around doing farm works and little menial jobs just to keep life going, to have something to eat. Rita, on the other hand, had her parents. Her parents were still alive, and she was living a relatively comfortable life. The problem was that the parents of Rita never liked Chike. The parents of Rita decided to cut Rita off from Chike. And they warned Rita never to go to see or to visit Chike. And they warned Chike never to come to their house to visit them. So they forbade Chike from coming to their house. But even with that, Chike and Rita had their own ways of communicating, and they were always meeting. Rita would sneak out from the house and visit Chike in his own village and spend a little time with him and then rush back home. So they were meeting. They kept on meeting. Chike had an illness, a particular illness that requires certain kinds of medication. So sometimes he gets some attack. He was not a sickler, but he gets attacks that certain kinds of medication would only be needed. And the person who gives the medication was a herbalist. Then, one day, Chike became very, very sick. Sick to the point that he was dying. Rita heard about it and she wanted to help Chike. She wanted to do her best to bring Chike out of this sickness. So she sneaked out of the house and went to the herbalist who makes the drugs, the medication. So when she came to the herbalist, she explained to him. The herbalist said yes, he was willing to make the medications for him, prepare the herbs for Chike. But he was unwilling to do that. That he could only do it if Rita accepts to sleep with him. And she said, how can you be thinking of that? Rita was still a virgin and she was not willing to go into that kind of act with a herbalist. Besides, she had a friend who had promised to marry her, and she loved Chike so much that she was willing to do anything for Chike. And she had vowed to spend the rest of her life with Chike. That was the strength of their love. That was how strong her love for Chike was. But in this circumstance, she could not get the herbal medication for Chike, who was dying. And Chike needed the medication. And this herbalist was not willing to give her the medication without sleeping with her. So if you find yourself in this situation, what do you think should be her decision? What should Rita do in this circumstance? Should she sleep with the herbalist, get the medication, and go and save Chike's life? Or should she say, no, I am not going to do it, and then allow Chike to die? So she was at this point at a moral crossroad. And time was not on her side. Chike was seriously sick, and every second counted. Every second was vital. She kept begging this herbalist. She pleaded with him. She was even ready to pay. He said he was not willing to take money from her, even though the money she had was not even enough for the medication. But he said he was not willing to take money from her, that he would only accept to give her the herbal medication for Chike if she accepts to sleep with him. That was very mean of the herbalist. Very mean, very bad, to say the least. But sometimes some of these people are not moral beings. They have nothing to do with morality. They just try to get what they want. So it was a very difficult decision for Rita to take. For the sake of Chike, for the sake of love she had for Chike, she decided to sleep with this herbalist. In the end, she got the medication and hurried to Chike. She gave Chike this medication. After 24 hours, Chike was completely healed. He was okay, completely okay. It worked. But her conscience continued to pain her, to flog her. She was wondering, what did I do? What I did was bad. And she felt like confessing it to Chike. Because of the love she had for him. You know, women, this one is really true love, sincere love. So she went to Chike the next day and sat beside him crying. Chike asked her, what is wrong with you, Rita? What is wrong? Why crying? She said, I did something terrible. Chike was scared. What? What did you do? Rita said, to get you this medication that you took, I had to sleep with the herbalist. The herbalist refused to give me the medication. He insisted that I must sleep with him. And I had no option. And I slept with him to get this medication to you. Chike was so sad. He started crying. He felt really bad about it. And he said, why? And she said, I did it to save your life. I did it because I loved you. Because I love you so much. I had to accept to sleep with him to save your life. Chike said, no. You mean you are no longer a virgin? You mean that herbalist slept with you? She said, yes. But it was because of love. The love I have for you. Chike said, stop that. Stop telling me about love. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Chike refused to talk to her. Chike asked her to leave his house. Rita was heartbroken. And Chike made a decision. And he told her he was no longer willing to marry her. That she should leave him alone. She became very, very dejected. Very sad. Look at someone she made a terrible decision to save his life. This person is turning around to make another terrible decision that would destroy her life. She was thrown into an emotional turmoil, emotional disaster. She went home. She refused to eat. She was crying. Her parents were asking her, what is wrong with you, Rita? What is wrong with you, Rita? She refused to speak to anyone simply because Chike said he doesn't want to see her again. So it was really a very, very difficult situation. Very, very difficult situation for her. And she felt depressed. Depression set in at that point. So I ask you this question as you're listening to me now in this story. What Chike did, was it right or was it wrong? His decision. Bearing in mind that she did what she did to save his life. And what she did it for the sake of love. So the second question is, what Rita did, was it really wrong when you consider it from the perspective of she did it for the sake of love? So what she did for the sake of love, was it wrong? So morally speaking, how would you judge her action, her desperation to save his life? So does it mean that one who is in love should be willing to do everything possible and almost anything to save the life of his or her loved one? These are questions I throw out to you there. Because at this point, Chike and Rita no longer speak to each other. Chike had banned Rita from coming to see him. Because according to him, she did the unthinkable. She should have allowed him to die. She should have allowed him to go. And Rita was not willing to allow that to happen. So she made her choice. She made the decision to do what she did to save his life. Chike, on the other hand, had made his own decision because of what she did. So it's really a moral crossroad at this point. What should Chike do? If you were Chike, what would you do? And if you were Rita, would you just let go and start a new relationship afresh? and throw everything away to the wind? Do you think it is that easy to just throw everything away and say, yeah, I move on with life? There are some situations you may never recover from, and this is one of such situations. If Rita does not marry Chike, if Rita if Rita fails to get reconnected to Chike, she may never recover from mental illness, because already she has gone into depression, and gradually this would lead to mental illness. So please just write your answers to these questions at the comment section, and in the next episode I may be giving you what I think, my take on this particular story of Chike and Rita. But write your comments. I would like to know what you think about them, about Chike and Rita. And at this point, I will say, have a wonderful evening. Same time tomorrow. So every day, I do a live video every evening. So do well to join me tomorrow while as we dissect this topic, moral crossroads. And tomorrow I'm bringing you another interesting story. And this time around, it is the story of a seminarian, what he experienced during his apostolic work. Tomorrow I will explain everything. So, but for now, I wish you a very wonderful evening. Please do well to like, comment, and share this story so that people who do not know what it means to be moral, immoral, or amoral can at least learn these 3 words that I just mentioned at the beginning of this video. Most importantly, I would like the story of the youths to be heard, because a lot of youths are passing through what we call moral crossroads. If you are one of such, passing through situations we call or consider to be moral crossroads, do well to send me your story. Share your story with me. Feel free. Share your story with me. Reach out to me, and I will be willing and very, very happy to listen to your story and connect with you. And if you have questions or difficult situation that you have found yourself in and you need some suggestions, some answers, do well to reach out to me. We can listen to your story and I'll give you my sincere but objective opinion on the situations. So once again, I wish you a very wonderful evening and a good night's rest. See you tomorrow, and we'll continue on this moral crossroad, the episode, the volume 2 of it. So, good night.